since you have stopped with me, I'll just maybe ask a wee favour for you. Now I know it's very cheeky since you are strangers and all, but you know I've been asking everybody just to ask after my husband. If you make it out to the colonies, to ask after him. His name's Hugh Rogan, and Hugh headed away last year, and I haven't heard hide nor hair of him since. And I don't know whether he's alive or dead. And of course, he got over to the New World, and the next thing we hear that they started fighting. The colonists have rebelled against the English, and war has broken out. And well, I know my Hugh, he's probably in the middle of it somewhere, getting up to mischief if he's still alive at all. So I'm so worried about him. So I was just asking folks, you know, if you were heading over to the New World, could you ask after him and maybe tell him that his Nancy would love to hear from him, love to hear if he's still alive or not. I don't know what's going on. In the meantime, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I still have our farm to look after, and my family, the Duffys, they're helping me with that. But you know, we've lots to do. We're just waiting for the new flax crop to come through, so it's normally linen that we're working with. But of course we keep sheep as well, as everybody does. And so we've just been making some woolen cloth. We're on a tweed at the minute, a herringbone tweed. That's what we're making just at the minute. It was me. I was working on it earlier, but he headed off down to Riley's. I don't know if you know Riley's, you know, but he headed off to, you know, do a bit of business. Oh, you couldn't be up to him on a Sunday morning.
The New World, is that America?
Oh, well, I've heard that word used, sir, but most of us just call it the New World. Still only colonies at the minute, although of course these rebels they're trying to break away from the English and form a new country. But it's new in all sorts of ways. I mean, it holds new possibilities for us, sir. Yeah. Whenever our wee son was born, wee Bernard, we got chatting to ourselves one night, and you see, the law here is that the more sons we have to divide the farm between them, and we've only, you know, a 23-acre farm. Sure, if we've 3 or 4 sons, they'll have no kind of land and no kind of life to live off. So we got to chatting, you know, and despite the fact that there's risky characters in this new country, you know, we could buy our own land over there. We could actually own our own land, and we can't do that here at home. So that's why he headed off, was the idea of buying land in this new country.
Yeah. And
then of course we could give all our children a really good life. That's going to be our aim.
Yeah.
And it's not that life's bad here now. It's all right at this time. It's good because our linen prices are good at the minute, and they say that with the war actually the prices might go up. But now we have to wait and see how things will go. Now, have you seen one of these machines going before? Have you?
I did a lot.
Are you a weaver yourself, sir? Are you? No, you're not. Maybe you're a spinster, ma'am. Are you? No. Most of the women here do a bit of spinning now. I started training when I was 8 years old. I became a qualified spinster when I was 12. Mommy and Daddy wanted to marry me off at that time, would you ever believe? But I managed to talk them out of it. I waited till I was 16. But I've been doing this a long time now, and I do it with either the wool or the linen. But this time of the year now, as I said, we're waiting for the new crop to come through, so I'm using the wool. But maybe if you haven't seen one of these working before, you'd like to see how it works.
Yeah.
Do you like to know how about it? Well, see, my granny, she would have used a spindle. And it was very slow, although Granny was excellent on it, I have to tell you. But she says whenever they got one of these, well, she was made up because she could go 5 times faster than she ever did with the spindle. So how it works is the pedal turns the big wheel, and the big wheel turns these 2 wee wheels. Come on in now, not too close because there's a plague going about it, but come on in. These 2 wee wheels are where the clever part is, if you can see them there, sir. Because they're actually different sizes. The inner one's nearly half the size of the outer one, which means one goes nearly twice as fast as the other. And that's how this machine works. Right. So the outer wheel, that turns this U-shaped piece of wood there called the flyer. It flies round at speed. And attached to the flyer is the yarn there, as you can see. So as that turns, that puts a twist up the fibres, and it turns that fluffy stuff into yarn, which we use for everything. And then the second wee wheel turns the bobbin, and that pulls the yarn onto the bobbin. And once I have a full bobbin, then I stop and I unwind it. Now, I have to do this for hours, as you can understand. We make a lot of cloth, so we need an awful lot of yarn. So while I'm working, I usually spin a wee yarn, you know, tell a wee story. But normally I sing. Would you mind if I sing a wee song?
Oh, please.
I sing a wee song. As a wee one my granny taught me too. And it goes, mellow the moonlight to shine is beginning. Close by the window young Eileen was spinning. Bent o'er the fire my blind grandmother's sitting, crooning and moaning and drowsily knitting. Merrily, cheerily, noiselessly whirring, spins the wheel, rings the wheel while the foot's stirring. Sprightly and lightly and merrily ringing, sounds the sweet voice of the young maiden singing. Eileen, a chara, I hear someone tapping, 'tis the ivy, dear mother, against the glass wrapping. Eileen, I surely hear somebody sighing, 'tis the sound, mother dear, of the autumn winds dying. And on it goes. Ah, folks, I just see I've new visitors here as well. Maybe I could ask you the same favour. I was telling these folks about my husband, Hughie. Now, you'll remember that name, folks, won't you? Hugh Rogan. You'll ask after him and tell him his Nancy's waiting to hear from him, all right? Okay, folks. Come on in, folks, and have a wee look. See, as I was doing these folks, my Hugh, he's headed off to the new world of the colony.
No? Yeah, we can quickly go in just.
You're welcome to a wee look round the house there.
Hi, Josh.
He's headed off to the colonies, and I've not heard hide or hair of him over here.
Oh, the smell of turf.
And we have that great plan that we're going to take some of our own lemons off the way.
Dark and get inside. Takes a while for your eyes to adjust.
Yeah. My grandparents actually had these dogs.
Yeah.
There's a folding table where you fold it, you know,
Oh wow, yes.
where you fold it away. I lived in a house similar to this, actually. My first ever house.
You mean with your parents or with
No, my first rented house.
Oh, wow.
Had a fire like that, and there were only just a couple of rooms, you know, just bedrooms along here.
This is a weaving machine.
Wow.
What would you call it? Is that a weaving machine?
That's a weaver, yeah.
Okay.
The what's outside is the spinner, but that is for weaving the.
So they make it a business as well.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Give them an income.
In fact, those machines are
Watch your
still.
head here because it's no.
There is another fire where you used to hang the pots on it. That's another spinner.
Watch your head. It's very low. In the bedroom. And the mattresses were usually made out of horsehair, weren't they?
Yeah. You know, you can feel the old-fashioned energy. I don't know how to explain that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I had a house with a similar sort of feeling energy to this. It's, you know, really old-fashioned Irish traditional sort of.
And then just the water jug for washing.
Yeah, for washing and we did stop off at the blacksmith's place, but we're actually going to have a look at it on the way back.
Because it was a bit crowded.
It was a bit crowded, yeah, so we decided we'd move on and so we went to the weaver's house. Yeah, so that's the spinner. That's the spinner. That's the weaver, that's the weaver, that's the cloth that she had behind her seat. Do you know? And the same technology is used today for making weaves, you know, linens.
Yeah. More people are coming in now.